What is up, guys? This is TCG Sam here, and in today's video, I'm coming at you guys with a pure Shaddoll deck profile. Not budget this time, but it's still relatively cheap compared to some of the other meta decks. So yeah, this is for the new March 2021 ban list, and I built this deck specifically to beat what I think the meta is going to be. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So starting off, we're going to be playing Triple Mathematician. If I haven't released a video already, then I'm going to be releasing a video on why I think Mathematician's probably the best normal summon for Shaddolls right now. But yeah, Triple Mathematician, I think 3 normal summons definitely good in this deck because technically all your Shaddoll monsters are normal summons if you really need to. Next up, Triple Squamata, Triple Wendy. So these are all pretty standard. These ratios haven't changed. I still think 3 and 3 of each is definitely necessary. A double Hedgehog and double Aerial. So double Hedgehog I think is pretty standard. I think you definitely need at least 2, just in case you need to set one off of a card like Wendy to search a spell. But then Aerial I still think at 2 is really important because of decks like Eldritch are still in the meta. Even against Dragon Links, it can be really good against getting rid of their follow-up like Safer or Brotar or stuff like that. And their Chaos Ruler, for example. But even just like in general, Aerial as a card is really good because you can set up your own graveyard where you banish your own cards and then set this off of a Wendy to set it up for a future, to bring it back in the future with a card like Aerial. So yeah, I think double Aerial is still really important. And then for the one of Shaddolls, 1 Beast, 1 Dragon. I usually play 2 Beast in my builds, but I realize Beast is pretty much kind of a brick, and I would only ever want to play 1 just to send it when I need to dig for a spell or trap, because most of the time, if I'm at the point where I can send a Beast just to get the extra greedy draw, then I feel like I'm already in such a good position to begin with. So, and like, cause like at that point I'd have all the traps in rotation, all the spells in rotation. I would have burned through all my good Shaddoll effects, so I just feel like 1 Beast is definitely enough. Dragon, of course, to get rid of back row. You can definitely side the second one. I built this specific build to beat combo variants, like Dragon Link and stuff, because I feel like against control decks, your engine can just outgrind them anyways with just the Shaddoll traps alone. And then 1 copy Trick Clown. This is really important because of something I play in the extra deck, but it's really good to send off a Shaddoll Fusion. It's really good to send off a Mathematician. And then I actually play Triple Ogre. I feel like Dragon Link is going to be huge this format, and Ogre could potentially be one of the highest impact cantrips against them. Not even just against the LP part, but even against a boot sector launch summoning, it can be really powerful. But worst case scenario, you can hit a card like Borreload Savage, and then it won't be able to equip and have a negate on board. The good thing about Ghost Ogre is, obviously, it's light, but the good thing about it is, once you use it as a fusion material, you can bring it back with Cross Sheep, and it gets its effect on the board. So that's what I really like about Ogre as well. But I feel like Ogre this format is also going to be really decent because, again, even against control decks, it's going to be a meh 1-for-1 at the very worst. Like, it'll be trading, let's say, Ultrageist Marionetter, like, worst case scenario, you'll be ogreing that, or something like that. You can ogre a card like Dryden as well, or Chakanine, or something like Zeus. I just feel like this is really good, this format. Do not underestimate this card. And then I play Triple Nibiru. Like I said, I built this deck to beat combo because I feel like the Shaddoll engine alone can just already beat control decks. So I feel like I didn't need to play anything specifically for control. This is not a trap variant. If you guys want to see a trap Shaddoll variant, do let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to make it. But this is just kind of like a pure combo control Shaddolls that I think is probably works really well. But yeah, Nibiru is just really obviously good against combo decks, and of course it's a light monster. And then finally for the last 3 hand traps, Triple Gamma and the Driver. Gamma super high impact, not only because it's the light monster, but it also protects your fusion spells from resolving going second, which is just so important. I cannot tell you how huge resolving a Shaddoll Fusion going second is, but I imagine you guys already know. But even then, like, Gamma, just getting 2 monsters on your turn can actually be huge, and I'll show you why in the extra deck. But yeah, the Triple Gamma and the Driver package. So 9 hand traps. I still feel like hand traps are pretty necessary this format, but even in this deck, at worst, they act as additional light monsters for your construct, which is really good. Triple Shaddoll Fusion, Triple L Shaddoll Fusion. I don't think you can cut these in a pure combo variant of Shaddolls, so there's not much to explain about them. They're obviously really powerful. I still think Super Poly is really powerful because, one, Drytrons are not completely out of the meta yet, I'd assume, because they can still put up their Herald if they choose to go that route. They're probably going to be playing the level 6 Herald because it makes their preparation to rights a little better. And this just completely outs it because it's a light monster. So Super Poly still obviously really powerful. Good going second card, good going first card. 1 copy Foolish Burial. You can play Upstart if you really want, but I feel like Foolish might be a little better because in a way you get to toolbox out your Upstart in Shaddoll Beast if you really need to do that. And then for the traps, I only play the 4 Shaddoll traps. I don't play any other trap cards because, like I said, I feel like the Shaddoll engine alone is just good enough to grind with those control decks like Altergeist, Eldritch, and stuff like that. Your engine should just beat them, and then you can just side in the back row hate and stuff. But against combos, sometimes your engine is not good enough to beat them, so that's why I need the hand traps. But anyways, I think this is all pretty standard Schism, obviously. I like double rush because, like I said, this is what gives you your really good grind game. Like you might have seen, I'm not playing a card like Falco or Sinister Shadow games, so I feel like the double rush Shaddoll is needed for that. I also do like to burn a copy of Rush Shaddoll, just flipping up something by banishing it, and I'd like to have another one in circulation to add back with all my fusions. So for that reason, I play 2. Shaddoll Core is pretty underrated. You can see my Shaddoll count is also kind of low, so Shaddoll Core kind of supplements that, where it's able to act as an extra monster. I really like it too because you can just dump it off your construct and you can add back something. It's also really more important in this build specifically. Like, I know I've been hyping it up, but there's a card in the extra deck that I feel like you guys definitely need to play. But anyways, speaking of which, getting on to the extra deck, Triple Construct. This is obvious. This is the best monster in your extra deck. That's why we play all those light hand traps specifically. Obviously, I think Ash is a little better than some of those hand traps because it's more generic, but I feel like in this deck, the light monsters are really huge, and the body Nibiru gives you is really important as well. Double Winda, this becomes more important against a deck like Dragon Link because they struggle a little more to out it than something like Virtual World did. I still feel like 2 is definitely enough, especially because I have 2 copies of Rush Shaddoll Incarnation. But even then, just making 1 should be able to shut off them for that turn. And then once you get the second win in circulation, you're probably winning the game anyway. So I feel like 2 is just always enough. I really don't think you need more than that. Double El Shaddoll Apclone. You can play a copy of Dogmatika. You can play Dogmatika Punishment if you really want, if you can't afford some of the hand traps. You can play like budget traps like Torrential Tribute, Dino-Miscus, or Dogmatika Punishment, but I don't play them. But I still feel like Double Apclone is really good. It's just a super powerful card to make. And then the kind of a flex slot, I decided to play Shekinaga. I actually kind of do like Shekinaga because of its ability to your ability to fuse the Mathematician. If they do change something like Gamma or Valor or Imperm to it, like obviously it's gonna not get its effect by Gamma, but you gotta quote unquote use the body, so make sure it doesn't go to waste right away. Like if that made any sense. But Mathematician being an Earth is pretty good for Shekinaga because you can banish it from your graveyard. For Schism as well. Shekinaga is a kind of a negate. It's not terrible, but if you guys don't like this card, you just play anything else that you feel like you can probably play the Shaddoll Construct Link too, but which I don't actually play. And then 1 Starving Man of Fusion Dragon. Dragoon's gonna be huge this format in my opinion, so you're definitely gonna need the dark target for your Super Poly. That's all there is to it. It is just a really good card. 1 Gravity Controller, obviously this card is a staple in this deck. And then I play 1 Artemis the Moon Maiden. This card is really important as well because it turns your Mathematician into a light monster. It turns all your dark normal summonable Shaddolls that aren't Wendy and Ariel into light monster as well. Like you can see, the theme of this deck is just to turbo out light monsters, and this is really good. And then obviously Cross Sheep is a staple in fusion decks, of course. And this is the card that I was, quote, hyping up. Predaplant Verti Anaconda. You can see that we don't play Dragoon, but this actually has really good utility in this deck. Even though we don't play Dragoon, you can send cards like Shaddoll Fusion. Like when you're just about to end your turn, you can send a card like Shaddoll Fusion, and on a window or something, you can send a card like Super Poly out one of their cards as well. You can dump pretty much then, once you're able to send a card like Shaddoll Fusion, it pretty much becomes like a double Foolish Burial, which is exactly obviously what Shaddoll Fusion does, but this is really good for that reason. If you're able to end on a construct, you might be thinking, oh, you're not able to special summon anymore with the Verti Anaconda, so like what even is the point of that? But you can see that's why we play a card like Shaddoll Core. So once you summon your construct and you send your materials, let's say you send any arbitrary light monster, so you can send like an Ogre, and then you send a Squamata. You can go like Chainlink 1, Construct, Chainlink 2, Squamata, and you can dump Core, and then dump whatever spell or trap you want to add back, be it Schism, Resh, or El Shaddoll Fusion. And in a way that kind of plays around the restriction that Anaconda puts on you, because you don't have to link off the construct to get its effect. You can just do what I just said, which is also why I think core is important. You can quote unquote search your spell or trap that you needed and then just set it. Plus you have a dark fusion material on your opponent's turn plus a Shaddoll monster, so guaranteed you have a winda or a construct anyways. So that's just really good. For that reason, I feel like Anaconda is really necessary. And even again, like worst case scenario, you can normal summon a card like Mathematician, sending a card like Performance Trick Clown, and then that just becomes your fusion spell outlet for as obviously assuming they have nothing to stop it. But if you're able to fusion summon, you should just be able to win the game anyways. And this is also why I mentioned that the bodies given to you by Gamma and Nibiru are really important as well. So yeah, Verti Anaconda, the newest addition to the deck, I feel like it's really powerful. Nightmare Unicorn, just to link climb with a card like Cross Sheep. And then, like I said, Access Go Talker. This is a big finisher. Once you make a unicorn, you can turn your you can start turning your small guys into cards like Unicorn, and then go into Access Code Talker, and it becomes really powerful. The only real downside of Access Code is that most of your links are dark. You cannot see you have Gravity Controller, Anaconda, Unicorn. Like, those are the cards that are probably going to be in your graveyard at that point. And then plus a Cross Sheep. So at most of the time, you usually have 2 pops only with this. But if you're making this, you should be closing out the game anyways. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see like test hands and stuff, combo tutorials, do let me know. I will be making more of those in the future with this deck built specifically just to show you what the kind of hybrid combo control deck can do. But yeah, just stay tuned for more deck profiles, combo tutorials, stuff like that. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and that's gonna do it for me, like I said once again. And I will see you guys soon. Take care.